Welcome back, folks. You're watching Cape Rugby TV. Right, just before the break, we were taking a look at the results from this past weekend, and we also took a look at the logs. Let's quickly take a look at the logs one more time. Villages are sitting at the top of the pile. Durban, UCT, Helderberg, False Bay, Van der Stel. They make up your top six. And then it's Tygerberg, Hamiltons, Unimil, Kales River, Brackenfell, and Stellenbosch in the mid-table. And at the bottom three, UWC, SK Women's, and St. George's. Right, folks, and just to give you a quick explanation as to why we have mentioned it to you in that format. The top six that you see on the log, they end up going into what we call it. Would we call it Alistair, the playoffs, the semi-finals, playoffs, right?
Playoffs.
So you want to play for the top six positions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Look, how you look at it, like you can end first or second, you get a home semi-final, and the next 3, 4, 5, 6, they play, to qualify for the semis.
And Jerome, the bottom three are in the danger zone because the two will go down in the league and two come up from the other league.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at, just take UWC. If you look at their points difference, so that shows you as a coach, like I have to look at my defense.
Right.
I can play rugby, I can score tries, but to go further, that's one thing that I have to look at.
Yeah, you're talking about points against,
Points,
145 points against. But okay, let's take a look. UCT St. George's. Here's the first half. right, there we go. UCT St. George's, folks. I believe it's was it a 14-18 halftime score?
14-18 halftime score, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm seeing some running in rugby, Jerome.
No, this is both teams.
Yeah.
This is a great game to watch. Like it's St. George's really played well that first half, and I think they were unlucky. There were opportunities that they could score another try in that first half. But in UCT, we're playing like normal, like running rugby. But both teams, like they play running rugby, but you can see a bit of structure. I mean, the set pieces were good, and they were playing. So that is good. I mean, the ball was doing the work, and it was good rugby.
Any comments from your side, Alistair, from a first half point of view before we go to the second?
Oh yeah, there was a nice brand of rugby being played there. But the set piece, UCT set piece stood out there. You know, they gave the ball air, but they dominated set piece time as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right, well, let's see if they give it more air and more dominance in the second half. Here we go. UCT St. George's. Who's going to take it? Well, I've given you the results already. All right, folks, there we go. Final result, 28 points to 23. UCT with the win over St. George's. Jerome, the UCT left it a little bit late, though. It could have gone the other way for St. George's.
Yeah, they did, but, I mean, they never gave up. And I think St. George's, if they watch this game, like, the old thing is, like, you don't give the guy the inside. At that last stage of the game, a few minutes left, just to give them the inside. You'd rather push them to the outside and make it difficult because the touchline is another defender. So I think they can't be happy with this because that was an opportunity for them to win the game.
Yeah.
Close game. Alistair, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the turning point was with the line that it was turned over on the halfway line, and it just gave UCT just offloads, that running lines or working off the ball, you know, and it gave them continuity to build up into the 22, and then from there, you know, they took their chances and took the lead.
All right, folks, some great rugby, though, UCT with that win over St. George's, but St. George's certainly in the first half showing what it is that the rest of Super League A can expect. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we're going to be taking a look at the match between False Bay and Stellenbosch. Back in a sec. Don't go away.